hello Udo. So we are back in the cockpit with Alexander, and we are briefing the flight to go back to Paris de Gaulle. We expect departure time in 1 hour, if we are on schedule time. So we had a short briefing to check all the meteorological situation over the ocean, to check the track that we have. Today we are flying very north to catch some wind, and unfortunately the expected time with a normal speed is too much for us, so we have to speed up the flight to be on time in Charles de Gaulle to keep the connection, because we have on 250 passengers, we have approximately 150 passengers who are connecting at Charles de Gaulle, so it's very important for us to be on time and arrival. Now we are going to do all that we have to do with Alexander. Alexander will go down on the cockpit on the ramp, and he will perform to the outside check with you, and during that time I will start the boarding with the cabin crew.
Alexander, I'm your first officer to this flight back to Paris. As first officer, one of my duties is to also perform the walk around to check for any potential damage on the aircraft. So we're gonna start with the nose gear and then perform all the walk around of the aircraft, and I will let you see everything I check. So first of all, we check the tire for any damages. Okay, it looks good. Okay. Then we check the strut, the position of the strut, all the lights, and there are no hydraulic leaks over there, so it's good. Then we check the angle of attack probes over there. There are two more on the other side. So the position is good. These are probes for anemometric indication, total air temperature and icing indicator. Okay, then we check the radome. Also the windshield from there. Okay, everything's good. There we have to check that there is this green light for oxygen discharge. It stands for the oxygen bottle of the cockpit in case of decompression. So if it's green, it's okay. There are two more angle of attack probes, so we check the position. This is the static port. So basically it is used to measure the altitude of the aircraft. So we have to check that any oil is plugged, so everything is good today. After that we go under the belly of the aircraft, on the panel. Quite windy. You can see the slats today, because the outside air temperature is above 30 degrees Celsius. We have to stay in one position, so that's why we can see today slats and flaps over there. Now main landing gear, quite the same. We check the tires, the strut, and also we got these braking indicators, so they must be in place. And also we check for any hydraulic leaks. Today is good. There are no hydraulic leaks over there. Okay, that's perfect. Then we go the center landing gear. There are no brakes on these wheels, so we have not to check for the braking indicator. Okay, perfect. Then we go back to the wing and the engine. There we have to check. There are 12 drains there of all the engines. We have to check that there are no leaks. Today it's okay. And we have some dispatch available on this lift. Okay, we check the air intake of the engine, the fan blades, everything's fine. And one more very important thing, especially on CFM engines, is to check that all these latches and hooks are in place. So no problem. And we check the leading edge of the aircraft. Same checks on the engine. With the drain, okay. Perfect. There we can also see the nav lights of the aircraft. So you can see there are two of them. One which we switch every day. So today is, I think it's number 2, and tomorrow will be number 1. There you can check for any overpressure of the fuel tank. You must see a white cross, and I don't know if you can see it with the camera, but it's there, so no problem, no overpressure. Then the wick tip, all the static departitors, the flaps. There, this black rubber part is for the jettison of the aircraft. So we must check that in place. And then we go to the back of the aircraft. Another very important check is this drain. Okay, this drain stands for there is a line between the center tank and the wing tank back to the APU and the trim tank. So if there is any leak on this line, you will see that this drain. It's very important to check. This is for the wastewater. There we can see the fin of the aircraft, the trim, and there are also the overpressure white cross of the trim tank, so we have to check that we can see the white cross. Okay. This is the APU, that's why it's so noisy, because it's running. Okay, and there we got to check this red dot over there. Stands for the fire extinguishers of the APU. If it's in position, that's no problem. It means that the extinguisher is still available for the APU. This is the outflow valve of the aircraft for the pressurization. Now it's open, that's normal because we are on the ground. And during the flight it will close, and then it will allow with the air conditioning system to pressurize the aircraft. So we must check that it's open on the ground. There's another one over there, we'll see that later. And then it's quite the same check on the other side. So tires, braking indications, no hydraulic leaks. Strut position, Okay, and no hydraulic lifts over there too. Okay, then we go back, the flaps, the jettison system, you can see that part, this is the aileron, the wingtip, white cross for the overpressure position, nav lights on the right side, on the left side, sorry, so we can see both systems. We got the slats, and then we can check the engine number 1. No leaks on the drain, hook in position, fan blade, the air intake. Okay. There we can see the fuel truck connected to the aircraft. That's where the truck puts all the fuel in the aircraft, and then it's dispatched in every wings and the trim tank. Okay. Okay, we are getting close to the end of the walk around. Wastewater drain, the outflow valve number 1, same as at the aft of the aircraft. It's open, no problem. And there are 3 more static ports. So we check for the holes. No, everything is okay. There are no plugs. So that's good. The aircraft is perfect. So we can go back up and then finish the flight preparation.
Air France 499, altimeter setting is 3004, temperature is 29. Wind check 110 at 1 knots, report ready for push.
Okay, so we copied an altimeter setting at 3004 and we'll report ready for push Air France 499.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Let's go for the briefing.
So the main threat is the terrain. Okay, we've got high mountains right after the takeoff. So for that we have a specific trajectory. We have to follow the flight director. And also the key point is that 1.2 DME of Papa Juliet Mike, where we can read there. We have to turn right on magnetic track 141. That's really important. And then we have to aim at the mountain pass over there, we can see it. So that's the first threat. Second threat is the lineup. When we do the 180, we have to see the threshold mark. So we have to be very careful at that at this point.
Okay.
The load sheet. That's all for, and maybe lots of VFR traffic today.
Yeah.
So we have to check for the TCAS and also be very careful at the radio and the air traffic control.
Okay.
Okay. So today we are on Alpha 2. Alpha 2. So it's there. We will push with a tow bar and then exit via Charlie or Bravo.
No, Charlie.
Charlie only. Okay, so Charlie, then right turn onto the runway and 180. We have to see the threshold marks. Then 2,300 meters for takeoff. Standard departure is Air France Juliana 2. So 1.2 DME of Papa Juliet Mike, right turn through the mountain pass, and then we intercept the radial 166 of Papa Juliet Mike.
Okay.
And then
Just a minute.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Et puis l'Ardenne.
Okay.
In case of an engine failure at takeoff, we have an engine out SID, so it's quite the same trajectory with an acceleration altitude at 1,500 feet. I checked the landing performance. We can eventually land in case of big failure just after takeoff, even if we are in overweight.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
Perfect.
Perfect.
Okay, so we have just received the load sheet, and first of all, I check the flight number, I check the aircraft registration, it's okay, so I accept. There is no talk, no security. And we have a total load of 23.6 tons.
Okay. So 215.3 tons.
That's correct. Mach takeoff 30.7.
30.7, okay.
Okay. I confirm that we have cats and dogs in the bulk and nothing else.
Okay.
Mesdames, Messieurs, bonjour et bienvenue à bord, votre commandant. Notre départ est prévu à l'heure aujourd'hui. Le temps pour nous de charger les derniers bagages. Le temps de vol sera de 7h50 pour rejoindre Paris Charles de Gaulle. Un vol a priori calme et à destination du beau temps. Je vous remercie de votre attention. Je souhaite à toutes et à tous un très bon vol et une excellente nuit. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard. I'm your captain. We should be ready on schedule time today. We are now loading the last luggage in the bulk. We expect 7 hours and 50 minutes to cross the ocean. We expect a quiet flight, and destination the weather is fair. I wish you a very good flight with us. There's like
1845. JetBlue 851, right turn on course. JetBlue 851, we're turning right on course.
Stabilisé à 500 pieds, je pense.
it's gliding.
Yeah, but I think it's an islander. It's probably older than us.
1 Charlie Hotel Tower. 7 miles northwest of you from St Maarten to Juliana. Charlie Hotel, report 10 miles to the south to the west, altimeter setting 3004. 3004, we're squawking 4563, and we call 10 to the west, 341 Charlie Hotel. Air France 499, enter Charlie, backtrack runway 10, expect clearance shortly.
Wind turn back to runway 10, Air France 499 Heavy.
Okay, clear right.
Clear left.
Right turn after.
669, Tom. Charlie 11, taxi to St Maarten, we'll be ready from Charlie if able. 669, Charlie clear takeoff in 110.
Cabin ready.
Okay.
Charlie clear takeoff 10669, thanks.
What do you think?
Check.
Okay, so
Blackfin 38 Alpha join on a 5-mile final.
we are taking off from Juliana on 10.
Air France 499 clearance.
Stand by.
Want to finish the briefing?
Okay, good. Air France 499.
Clear the Paris Charles de Gaulle via Alpha 516 Manolo. Arcadia 26 knot 55 west, 33 knot 50 west, 40 knot 45 west, 44 knot 40 west, 45 knot 30 west, 46 knot 20 west, 46 knot 15 west, take power, flight plan route. After departure, client will maintain for level 150, squawk 2354. 499, read back correct, report ready. Roger.
Okay.
Blackfin 38 on right on 40. Blackfin 38, follow your company, stand for 5-mile final to accommodate the Air France departure.
C'est le demi-tour et puis je te fais le briefing après.
W851, sound 1815.
Lights.
1815, W851.
So takeoff at 215.1 turns. It's okay for the performance.
Yeah.
Flaps 2, flex takeoff, 96%, initial climb 51150, right turn after takeoff, case of engine failure, 1.2 DME Papa Juliet Mike, right magnetic track 141.
Okay, in case of a failure, it's stop or go. If you hand the handle, you do it by yourself, and if in any trouble, you get toga.
Okay.
We are fully ready, Air France 499. Air France 499, clear takeoff in 120 at 12 knots. Taking off.
Yeah. Okay. Ready?
Ready.
Take off.
Take off.
Chief 1 Charlie Hotel, confirm type of aircraft, Aztec. Affirm.
Manflex 33 SRS, auto first blue.
Check. Just set.
Blackfin 38 Alpha, clear the line with 110 at 11 knots. Clear till
100.
Blackfin 38 Alpha. Echo Delta, set course. Set course, back
Rotate.
669, 1845. Inward 669, 1845 is in bars.
Positive climb.
669. Blackfin 38, the sequence clear to land minute 120 at 10 knots.
Check. 1.2. Clear right.
110, Blackfin 38.
Okay. The winch here.
Air France 499, left turn direct Manolo approved. Left turn direct Manolo approved, Air France 499.
First climb, auto first.
Check.
Number 2.
Clear left.
Okay. Set
Quebec, that taxi the holding point Alpha.
Okay, clear left. Open climb heading 070.
Perfect. Flaps 1.
Speed check. Flaps 1.
American 868 is ready to push up spot 1.
American 868, start up pushback approved.
Okay, pushback approved, and just a reminder we'll need runway 28 for American 868.
Pushback nose facing east runway 28.
Thank you.
222 Quebec, so that taxi the Delta hold short now. Taxi straight out the Delta and hold short.
Alright, hold short right ahead, Delta.
Flap 0.
Quebec, sir.
Correct.
And now no.
Check. Flap. Speed check. Flap 0.
154.
499, read back correct, report ready.
Roger. Okay.
Black 338, follow your company, extend for 5 miles, final to accommodate Air France.
Ok.
Je vais faire le demi-tour et puis je te ferai le briefing après.
W851, Samwang 1850.
Il n'y a pas de lights, hein, là-dessus. So takeoff at 215.1 tons. It's okay for the performance. Flaps 2, flex takeoff, 96%. Initial climb flight level 150. Right turn after takeoff. In case of engine failure, 1.2 DME Papa Juliet Mike. Right in the magnetic track 141. Flex 33 SRS, auto first blue. Check. Just set. Check.
B1.
You're up. Up. Check. 1.2. You're right.
Air France 199, left direct, Nolo approved.
Left turn direct, Nolo approved, Air France 499. First climb auto first. Check. C'est bon pour toi, ok. Set course direct to Nolo. Okay, check. Flaps 1. Check. Flaps 1. Flap 0. And have no check.
Top frequency of St Maarten, please.
118, decimal 15.
11815 Air France 499, bye-bye.
Echo Delta 1845 St Maarten.
St Maarten, good evening Air France 499, 607 climbing 150 to Nono.
France 699 San Juan Center, radar contact 15 miles southwest of the Manolo intersection. Unable to say your O-bike estimate, Mach number, cruise, and final requested altitude.
Jerry, call it back.
Bike at 2030. So flight level 37 or 35?
Center for Delta 688, right? Okay, in your sector.
Okay, 37 I think.
Delta
And Mach
688,
number
negative, sir, it's been light traffic.
82?
Reported at 340.
Yes, with Oceanic 80.
80.
St Maarten Air France 499.
Air France 499, go ahead.
Air France 499, we expect O-bike at 2030 and we expect cruise at 370 Mach decimal 82.
France 499, roger. For now, climb maintain for level 270. We have your request for 370, maintain Mach 82 at en cruise.
Okay, 270, stand by for 370, maintain the Mach 82 Air France 499.
2146,
Level 270 blue.
Check.
Air France 499 San Juan Center, good afternoon. Climb and maintain for level 370.
Climb and maintain 370 Air France 499.
370
And
blue and
880.
New York, Air France 499, calling New York on 13.
Call New York, stand by please, American 837 New York.
American 837, go ahead.
New York ATC clears American 837, climb to maintain flight level 380. Report level, flight level 380, stay back.
Maintain flight level 380, report level American 837.
American 837, read back, correct, United 1039 New York.
1head to United 1039.
New York ATC clears, United 1039, clears to deviate up to left, lean with 30 nautical miles of route. Rejoin route by time 2115, report back on route, read back.
Okay, cleared to deviate up to 30 miles left, cleared back on route 2115, no later than United 1039.
1039, read back, correct, time check 2035, 3/4, confirmed.
2035, United 1039.
Hi from New York. And standing by for New York.
New York, Air France 499.
Air France 499 New York confirmed. Go ahead.
Air France 499, we are CPDLC, Santa Maria next, and 26 now, 55 west at 2137.
France 499 CPDLC, Santa Maria next. Backups on the 11309 or 40 west, Santa Maria 6628. Correction on that, Santa Maria 40 west 5598. Backup 3016. Here's cell phone check.
11309.
Okay, New York Air France 499, positive cell call. Secondary 11309 at 40 west, Santa Maria 5598, 3016.
Roger, New York. Barnett is 6061 New York.
We're actually between the 55 west and 50 west with New York ATC. There's no plane, no clouds, so we have some minutes to explain what is specific on departure at Juliana Airport, St Maarten Island. First of all, you may see on that picture of the runway 10, which is exactly the view that we have before takeoff. If we go through the runway, we're in the mountain, so we have to make a right turn to go in what we call the mountain pass that you see here. And for the mountain pass, you know, there is several small mountain which called Slippery Hill, Savory Hill, Little Cold, Big Hill, and Cold Bay Hill. And we have to fly just between two small mountains, which are Cold Bay Hill and Little Cold Bay Hill. And we have a light at the night. If we take off at night, we must see those lights. If we don't have the light, we are not allowed for takeoff. And when we have passed just after those two mountains, we are clear to turn right, to turn left anyway, according to the security altitude. So, one question is often, why don't you turn immediately right after takeoff? It's because if we turn right with our speed, we won't be able to turn before the other hill, which is here. So this is the reason was we have to really pass between the two small hills. On a 4-engine aircraft, as a 340, if we fail one engine on departure, we still have 70% of the power. So we have very strict limitation. Maximum takeoff weight today, according to the performance, was 222 tons, as the aircraft is allowed to take off up to 265 tons. But according to those hills, we have to take care of our performance, climbing performance, in case of one engine failure. And if we have one engine failure at the maximum weight, which we are today 222 tons, we are passing between the hill exactly at 50 feet, which is the minimum safe obstacle clearance when you have one engine failure. And the reason is why we are not, it's not possible to fly a long haul departure from Juliana Airport with a twin jet engine as a Airbus A340 or the Boeing 777, is that if you lose one engine at takeoff, you lose half of the power instead of 25% on a 4-engine aircraft. So with half of your power less, it's more difficult to have the same obstacle clearance on the hill, on the pass. So you may fly with a 777, but you won't have all your payload and your fuel to go back to Europe. So it's better to fly from St Maarten to Europe with a 4-engine aircraft as a 747 or 340. Some of the company have a special clearance and they take off on runway 28, so they don't take off face to the mountain but face to the sea with a lot of tailwind. But how they are taking off on the sea, they don't have any obstacle in case of engine failure, so they have their full payload to go back to Europe. But at Air France we don't have those clearance for the time. We expect to get it, but of course with 15 tail knots on takeoff on runway 28, it's easier to go back to Europe. we expect to have some Airbus 340 until 2019, and the two last 340 on the Air France fleet will continue to fly to St Maarten and also Bogota, because Bogota with a high altitude, it's better to get 4-engine aircraft. And after that, we expect to have the clearance to take off with 15 tail knots on runway 28, and if we fly to St Maarten with an Airbus 350, maybe we will have, we expect to have enough power to fly direct with a full payload. So we were parked on the apron at gate Alpha 2 with a jetway directly connecting to the terminal building. We made a pushback face to the east, and then we taxi here and we stop at the holding point of taxiway Charlie. After landing aircraft, which was an Highlander, we enter and backtrack on runway, going on that part to make 180 to be on takeoff here. And during the 180 turn, we have seen the barrier here on Mayo Beach with all the people waiting for takeoff for some strong sensation. Here is the weather shots of the Central Atlantic and Northern Atlantic for today. It's valid at 18 UTC, and what we can see is we have West Indies here, Africa, Spain, France, Great Britain, and here is Newfoundland here. So we have low pressure here and high pressure over the Azores Island, and what we can see is we have a jet here at flight level 370 with a wind of approximately 120 knots maximum. So what we want to do to cross the ocean is to have the minimum, the route, we need to find a route with a minimum flight time. So the computer find us a route. We are leaving St Maarten and we are flying very, very, very north to join the jet. You know, we are approximately 200 miles south of the jet, but we still catch a lot of tailwind to reduce our flight time to Paris. For your exam, for information, here is the Azores Island with Santa Maria and Paris Airport, and when we arrived yesterday, we were flying directly to Azores. So southern route to come to St Maarten and a north route to go back to Paris. We are south of the southern track. Southern track is here, and we are 60 miles south of the track. And it was not, we were not able to fly on the track, because to fly on the track you have to enter at the entry point of the track. We see on that chart, which is a wind at flight level 37 and 390. This is a sort of average between the two levels according to our flight plan, vertical flight plan. And we are leaving from St Maarten. We have some light tailwind, you know, and after that we expect to have some very light headwind. And when we are reaching the area of the jet, we expect to have initially 55, and then after that we will expect to have 60, maybe 70 knots of tailwind during half of the cruise. And it's going to reduce our flight time, and so Due to that route, we expect to be just on time in Paris for connecting passengers. This blue line, you know, it's the equitime point between St John and Lares. If we have a failure before that point, we go back. If we have a failure after that point, we go to Lares. It depends on failure, of course, but it's in case of pressurization trouble. So, some explanation about all the instrumentation about the Airbus A340-300. Let's begin by the most important, which is the PFD, primary flight display. This is the most important because we are not, it's not possible to fly if we don't have our pitch. And we have also the speed here. We have the altitude, we have the heading, and information about all the automatism, which are auto thrust and vertical guidance and lateral guidance. That's the information about the autopilot. On the navigation display here, we may see the track which has been uploaded in the flight management system with equitime point, with the next waypoint at 33 north 050 west. We have the ground speed, we have the true air speed, we have the wind, and we have the estimate of the next waypoint. We also have the heading, of course. After that, something that we use a lot, it's a sort of small computer that we call the flight management system, and we have several pages that we use on the flight management system. Well, first of all, we have the performance page. We may see that the aircraft mode to regulate the speed is a managed speed according to a cost index, and the cost index for the cruise will give us a speed Mach 0.82. We have also the next page of the performance page. We'll have the descent with a managed speed at 0.82, 315 knots, and the approach phase for performance, where we will fill all the empty blocks with meteorological parameters that we will reach on the ATIS at Charles de Gaulle on arrival tomorrow morning. Another page very important on that flight management system is the flight plan. We see the last waypoint that we cross, the next waypoint what we expect with the estimate, and all the waypoint after, and at the end we see that we will arrive in Paris de Gaulle and 26 left at 0406 UTC time, and it will remain approximately 8.7 tons of fuel. This is really what we use to plan our flight. Well, next, let's go to the engine. We have 4 engines, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. We have the engine master, and the engine master, we use them to switch on the engine, to start up the engine, and if we have to use them during the flight, it's to cut the engine in case of problem. On the side of the engine, we have the radio management panel with a different frequency. We may choose to use VHF 1, VHF 2, VHF 3, and HF also that we use during the Oceanic crossing, because we are talking with New York radio on HF and not on VHF, as we are very far away from the station. We have also the meteorological radar that we use during all the flight to check if we have some CBs on our route. Here we have the speed brake handle. which are retract now as we are in cruise. We use the speed brake when we need to increase our rate of descent, and we also use the ground spoiler when we are landing on a runway. We have also the ground spoiler. The ground spoiler is absolutely the same as a speed brake, but we use it on the runway while landing to brake the lift and to increase the brake efficiency. Here we have the parking brake handle. Here we have the flap handle. We use the flap at 2 for takeoff in St Maarten, and tomorrow morning for landing at Charles de Gaulle we will use flap 3 position. We have the ATC transponder. We have another radio management panel and another MCDU according to the FMS to manage our flight. So let's go for system display.
So there we've got 2 screens, very important screens. You can see during the cruise, there you got all the engine's parameters. So we've got N1, which is the rotation speed of the fan. EGT, exhaust gas temperature. So it's temperature of the burnt gas at the end of the combustion. N2 is the high pressure rotor inside the engine. And this is the fuel flow, so you can see right now the fuel consumption is around 6 tons an hour. After that, there we've got the total fuel on board, so right now 39 tons. And this is the flaps position, slats and flaps positions, so they are all retract as we are in cruise. On that part of the screen, sometimes if you've got a failure, the name of the failure will appear, and then we have some actions to do in order to cope with this failure. This part of the screen stands for the MIMO, so sometimes we have a TCAS standby or nose wheel steering disconnect. It helps us to see the stages of some equipment of the aircraft. Normally during the cruise you have nothing there.
Except seat belts.
Except seat belts. You're right. So the standard page during the cruise is the cruise page. There you got a repetition of the engine parameters, but they are different. This is the total fuel used by each engine and total, the oil quantity, and the indication of the vibration. After that, for the cruise page, you got the air page with the pressurization information, the cabin altitude. So right now 6,250 feet, and we are cruising at 37,000 feet. So you can see that there is a big differential pressure between inside and outside of the aircraft, and right now it's 8.5 psi. There you got the temperature of the different zone of the aircraft. We can change this temperature with some buttons upstairs. I will show you later. And this is the temperature of the cargo hold. There you got the total air temperature, so minus 22. This is the temperature of the leading edge of the aircraft, so it takes into account the fact that when you are flying at around 450 knots, the air heats up the leading edge, so the temperature increase in regard of the static air temperature, which is now minus 52. This is the standard universal time. The actual growth rate of the aircraft and the center of gravity of the aircraft. We can see now that it's 39.1%, which is quite aft, but that's normal, because if you check the fuel page, we can see that at the trim tank is full right now with 5 tons around of fuel, and we took off with around 2,400 kilograms. So during the cruise, the fuel is transferred to the trim tank, and that allows the aircraft to move back its center of gravity and to reduce the fuel consumption. Before the landing, all the fuel in the trim tank will be transferred to the wing
Main tank.
Also, as you saw, this screen we can call up different pages. So for that we use this panel called the ECP, ECAM control panel. First page is engine page, where we have some more information about the engine parameters. So we see we have the pressure of the oil system, the temperature, and this is the nacelle temperature. It's a very good indication in case of fire. Now it's all green, so no problem. Second page is the bleed page. So the bleed system is the system that provides air to the conditioning system and the pressurization system. So we can see all of our 4 engines with the position of the valves. They are all open right now, except the HP valve, which is normal during the cruise. You can see there, this is the temperature and the pressure of the incoming air from the engine. And after that, the air is passing through what we call the pack. And the purpose of the pack is to cool down the air before giving it to the conditioning and pressurization system. So the entry temperature is 182 degrees, and at the end of the pack we have only 12 degrees. Also we've got this, which is the cross bleed system. It allows us to use maybe the bleed system of engine number 3 or number 4 and to put it into the pack number 1 or engine 1 and engine 2, put it into pack number 2. Ram air is a system that we can use if we have if we lose all of our bleed system. We have to descend, and then we can open like a hatch beside the aircraft, and it can bring some cool air inside the aircraft. Third page is the pressurization page, so we can see the cab press. Landing elevation is the when we see it's in auto mode with 300 feet. It's the 8 above the sea level of Roissy. So it helps the system, the cabin pressurization system, to calculate when it's gonna start to descend the cabin altitude. There we can see the delta P, differential pressure, the cabin variation of altitude, so it's on level right now, and the cabin altitude. This is a draft of the pressurization system. You can see there the 2 outflow valves we saw when we do the walk around, and also a safety valve. In case of overpressure, these valves open and allow the pressure to diminish. There we got the position of the ventilation extraction valve, which is just below us. It's the ventilation system of all the avionics. So just below us we got several calculators, all computers, that makes a lot of hits, and sometimes you have to ventilate, especially on ground, to cool down this hold. And there you can see that all the system, this is the aircraft, the schematic of the aircraft. The aircraft is pressurized via pack number 1 and pack number 2, which are green. Then after that we got 2 very important pages. The first one is the electrical pages with alternative current. This is the main generation of current and electricity inside the aircraft. So each engine's got his own generator, Gen 1, Gen 2, 3 and 4. And each generator power up what we call bus. We have AC11, 12, 23 and 24. They are all independent. And also the AC11 bus, after that, power up the AC Essential bus. And on this AC Essential bus, all the critical equipment are connected. There we can see also the temperature of the IDG, which is the system that connects the gearbox of the engine to the generator. Also, it's possible to have AC generation with the APU, but now it is switched off. Also, we see that AC bus 1-2 brings current to the TR1, which is a system that permits from alternative currents to have direct currents. We have two, TR1, TR2, and also an APU TR, which provides direct current to the APU. In case of failure, we've got an emergency generator. This generator is powered up by the green hydraulic system, and it's like a rotor turning with the hydraulic power and giving us some electrical generation in case of failure. We're gonna switch to the direct current page for the end. So there you can see the alternative current buses bringing what we saw on the last page, current to the TR1 and TR2 and APU TR. Then after the TR, the direct current buses are powered up. So we have alternative current through the APU TR, bringing power to the DC bus APU. On the side, we've got AC1-2 through the TR1, power up the DC1 bus and also the DC BAT bus. On this side, AC bus 1-1 via the Essential TR, which is a TR called Essential because it powers up all the critical equipment that need direct current through the DC Essential bus. And that's all for the cruise. In case of failure, the battery can power up the DC Essential bus, and through the static inverter, we can have there some alternative current to power up the AC Essential bus. So what is very important to understand is that all the system is really redundant. Each alternative current bus can power up another one, and even if we lose all of our alternative generation through the batteries, we can have back some alternative current. After that, we got the hydraulic page, and we can see there all the generation for the hydraulic. So basically, we've got three circuits called green, blue, and yellow. The green system is the critical one, so that's why it is powered via engine number 1 and also engine number 4. So if we lose the engine number 1, we don't lose the green system, as it will be powered by the engine number 4. After that, the blue system and the yellow system are powered respectively by engine number 2 and engine number 3. So if we lose engine number 2, we lose the blue system. You can see there the ELEC indication. Each system's got an electrical pump, but this pump doesn't provide the full capacity of the hydraulic system, so we won't have 3000 psi, which is the pressure. But in some case, you can use the electrical system to retract the flaps or the slats, and or retract the landing gear, and it helps us to retrieve a configuration of the aircraft in case of hydraulic failure, which is flyable. Also, we've got ram air turbine. It's a small propeller that can be that is below the plane, under the belly of the plane, and when into the airflow, this propeller starts to turn, and it can deliver a little bit of hydraulic power into the green system. And as the green system can be pressurized, we can also have, as we saw on the electrical page, the emergency generator powered up. Next page is the circuit breaker. So there we can see all of the breakers that have been failed during the cruise. This is normal, which is the normal status of the aircraft. Then we've got the APU page. There you can see that the APU is switched off. So the end indication is off and no bleed pressure provided by the APU. Then we got the conditioning, air conditioning page. There we can see all the temperatures of the cabin and also the cockpit. And through those trim air valves and the hot air, it helps the aircraft to regulate the temperature inside the cabin. And there we got the temperature of the cargo hold. On this aircraft you can add cool air inside the cargo hold, so it's very useful when we transport some perishable goods. Next is the door page. So you have all the door indication. They are all green because everything is closed, which is a good news as we are in flight. And you can see the slide indication that indicates that all the slides of the aircraft are armed, and in case of an evacuation, when we open the door in an emergency system, all the slides will deploy automatically. So on this aircraft we got 8 slides, and each are on the main door of the aircraft. Also we got the PAX oxygen system. On this aircraft it's oxygen bottles, several oxygen bottles, 5 or 6, it depends on the aircraft. And you got the pressure. The pressure is really important because in case of decompression we have only 30 minutes allowed to above the flight level 100. So when we fly over mountainous area, it's really important to check this pressure, and it helps us to calculate the equitime point and to anticipate our decompression scenario. This is the cockpit oxygen. So we got our own bottle for both of us. It's really important because either in case of a decompression or if we get smoke inside the cockpit, that's the only things that can save us. And this is the vertical speed, the value of the cabin altitude, so we got 0 there. Next is the wheel indication. We've got temperature of each main landing gear wheel with the pressure of the tire. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. We have no indication of the central gear on this A340. And on the nose gear you only have the pressure. There, this is the indication of the landing gear door. They are green and closed, which is normal during the flight. And there we had an indication of the spoilers position, but we also have it on the flight control page. There, they are all retracted. You can see there are some difference between this sign and this. It's because when you use the ground spoilers, everything goes up, and when the speed brakes only are used, the inside spoilers are not used and they're not deployed. Then we got the position of the left and right aileron. They are centered, normal. Left and right elevator, and the rudder. This is the pitch trim indication, so 1.8 up, which is quite normal during the cruise. And you see there these letters, they stand for the green, blue and yellow. So it's the hydraulic power through the flight controls. So we can see that the left aileron is powered by yellow, green and blue system. Also there you got primary computer, flight controls computer 1, 2 and 3, they are all green. And secondary computer 1 and 2. These computers, when we use the side stick or when we use the autopilot, they send order to the aileron or elevators to pilot the aircraft. So each primary computer is the same. It's to mean that if we lose primary computer number 1, 2 and 3 can do the job without any trouble. Also, you can see there are green dash on the radar indication. It's because during the cruise the radar travel is limited to this green dash. On the ground you can use the radar on full deployment. Alright, and the last one and the most important one is the fuel page, where you can see all of the tank of the aircraft. So basically we've got a center tank which is now empty. We've got then 2 wing tanks. They are separate in 2 ports with outer tanks and inner tanks. Then you've got the pumps of the engines. You can see there are 1, 2 and 8 total pumps, and only one at this time for each engine is active. It's the main pump, and there are also for each engine standby pumps which can be used in case of failure of the main pump. Also there you can see this is the fuel valve for each engine. It's controlled by the engine master, so they are all open because the engines are running. And these valves, they stand for the cross-feed system. The cross-feed is a system that permits to connect in a line all the engines. So that means that you can use, for example, the fuel from the right side of the aircraft to power up the engine on the left side. And also you get there, this is the trim tank, as we told, with the fuel quantity inside the trim tank. At the end, when we cross flight level 255 climbing, the system starts to bring fuel at the aft of the aircraft to move back the center of gravity and to reduce the fuel consumption. And when we start our descent, all the fuel we're gonna come up into the wings. You got also the temperature of the fuel in each tank. You can see in the outer it's minus 16 and 11 degrees in the inner. That's because there are more fuel inside in the inner tank, so that's why the temperature is above. Sometimes when we fly long time very north with low temperature, we can have trouble regarding to the freezing point of the fuel. So sometimes we have to transfer the outer into the inner to level up the temperature. Or maybe in the last case we have to descend and increase the total air temperature to reheat the fuel. And there we got a status page. Status now is normal. It's because there are no failure on the aircraft. If we got failure, there we got a list of the inoperative systems. And on the left side of the status page, we've got some useful information for maybe the approach or reminder of things that are very important according to the failure we had. For example, it can say that we have to avoid icing conditions, or in case of ice accretion, we have to maneuver with care. Or it's really useful for us. And that's all for the ECP.
What we're going to talk now is about the FCU, Flight Control Unit. This is the way we have to order the aircraft to fly, to change direction, to change altitude. So with that button, we may select the speed or the Mach number as we are on high altitude. If we don't select it, we have some little dash, and those little dash means that the Mach number or the speed value is calculated by the flight management system. We have the same on the right with the heading. The heading now we have some little dash because the navigation, the lateral navigation of the aircraft is managed by the flight management system. We may also see that we are all managed. Regarding on the PFD, we see that our way to fly is navigation green, which means that the navigation is managed by the flight management system. And we have the same also for the altitude and the speed. If we go back to the FCU, we have those little button, which is heading VS. If we press it, we get track FPA. The difference when we are heading VS, when we select that a change of the vertical profile or lateral profile, we will use heading for the lateral and vertical speed in meter per second using those knob. If we use track FPA, which we use what we call the flight plan vector, for lateral we will fly and we will follow a track and not a heading, and for the vertical guidance we will use a fly path angle. It won't be feet per minute, it will be an angle, 1 degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees.
Maybe you can see the difference between the, when we are in heading vertical speed, you've got cross.
Okay, if you may show the PFD, you know, we are on heading vertical speed with our two bar, and we have those little single, what we call a bird, which is the flight plan vector. If we go back to the FCU, we have the knob to select the altitude, and here the last knob is to select the vertical speed when we want to descend or climb with a special rate, mostly according by the air traffic control. And on the other part, on each side of the FCU, we may select what we have as information on the navigation display. We may select if we want ARC, if we want NAV, if we want VOR, and this is also the scale that we may use on the navigation display. We have also the little push button. We may have the constraint. Constraint is when we are arriving or departure. We may have a constraint of altitude or speed according to some waypoints. We may have also this one waypoint. I may show all the waypoints around the aircraft. It's not interesting now because there's no waypoint as we are in the middle of the ocean. Same with the VOR, same with NDB, non-directional beacon, and we have also airport. I may show on my navigation display all the airport around us, which are in the database of the FMS. So that's all for that part of the cockpit. I have all my push button and rotator and knob according to each system of the aircraft. So if I begin here, I have all the push button for the communication, but communication with the cabin. I may call fly res, the mechanical when I'm on ground, different galley or a different door in the cabin. I have also my push button for an emergency call. Emergency call, as the name, it is used only when I have emergency and I need to call the cabin crew to give them some information about the trouble. Here is the system for the oxygen. For push, if I push this red button, I will send all the oxygen mask in the cabin in case of depressurization, and this is the other one to switch on or switch off for the oxygen in the cockpit and for passengers. Here I have my push button for the GPWS, Ground Proximity Warning System. All the systems of the GPWS are on. If I push on one of each of these buttons, I will deselect some function of the GPWS. With this one, terrain, I will deselect the terrain according to the eGPWS warning system, which means the enhanced GPWS. It is a provision of the track of the aircraft, the path of the aircraft, according to all the information that we may have of the terrain in the database of the aircraft. This is a push button to disconnect all the system of GPWS, the glide system mode and the flap mode. Just a little bit upstairs, I got everything concerning the emergency electrical power in case of loss of the engines, loss of all of the alternator. I may use the emergency system for the electrical power while using those push buttons. Next, I have what we call the evac. Evac means evacuation, emergency evacuation when we are in ground with technical problem, mainly fire or something like that, or heavy smokes, which need all the passengers to evacuate the aircraft. So when I use this button with those push button, I will order the evacuation in the cabin with an automatic message and also a special warning and special light which switch on. Next, I have a little piece of my fuel system according to those two push buttons, which may be used to use the split valve between the inner tank, and it's associated in the fuel system. In the inner tank, I've got several parts, and I heard. Oh, sorry. Okay, let's go back to the fuel. Here is those two push buttons named jettison. The jettison fuel is a system to spend some fuel in the air to reduce the weight of the aircraft if we need to go back and land just after takeoff. And we have a special checklist. We need a special clearance from the ATC because it's not authorized to spend fuel at any place. Next, I got a part of the flight control calculator, the push button to switch them on for the primary one, the sec one. Next, I got the APU fire push button. When I use this one, I will use it only in case of a fire of the APU, and I will disconnect the APU, switch it off, and I got also an agent, a fire agent protection that I will spend in case of fire. This is panel of the IDS with air data reference, which take all the flight parameters. Here is a rotator, and here is a push button for the inertial reference. The inertial reference, it is the navigation system. So the mix of the IR and ADR, it is named ADS. Air data initial reference system. Just up here, I got my cockpit door locking system. This is the door of the cockpit that I may close or open, and I check if somebody is ringing at the door. I check with a small camera to see who is these people, if I may open or not the door. And that's all for the left part. So now let's go for the central part. I have all my external light with landing light and takeoff light, nav and logo, strobe, beacon, everything. I have push button to start the APU. I got all the signal in the cabin, emergency exit light, and also the light in the cockpit. Just after that, I got a cabin pressure system to regulate all the system in manual. If there's a trouble in the automatic system, I may select the height of the altitude of my destination and rate of climb if I use this pressurization system in manual. On that side, I have all the protection against the ice for the engine, for the four button, for the wing, and also for the window it. Just upstairs, the air system. Air system will hold the push button according to the bleed and the pack. You've seen a few seconds ago all the bleed and pressurization system and cooling system on the system display page, and this is all the push button to use each pack, each bleed, the hot air APU bleed, to close and open different valve. After that, you have the same for the electrical system, with also generator, may use also the ground power and the battery here. After that, we have the fuel. We have the fuel with all the push button according to the fuel pumps, main and standby, and different transfer tank and inlet valve, outlet valve. We got everything on that panel. Next will be hydraulic with different hydraulic pump, some electric one, some engine one. We may switch them off or on. And the last one is the engine fire push button, which is exactly the same as the APU. If you use this one in case of fire, we shut off, we close the fuel, and after that we are able to send some fire engine.
On the right side, we've got the engine man start panel. We quite never use that. It's only used on ground when we have a problem with the automatic starting sequence to allow the starting valve to open and bring some air inside the engine to start it up. Just above that, we have the ventilation system. So there, it's not a push button. It's only an indication in case of smokes inside the Avionics hold. And then we have two fans that we can switch off, so the extract fan and the cap fans. And this is to prevent some smokes to get inside the cabin. Above that, the cargo smoke panel. We get into the cargo, we've got two system of extinguishers, a forward one and an aft one. And that permits us to, in case of fire, because we've got some fire detectors also inside the cargo, to give some agent, fire agent, and try to extinguish the fire inside the cargo, because we have no access inside the cargo during the flight. This is a cargo air conditioning panel. This aircraft is equipped with a cooling system, so today it's off because we don't have any goods that require a cool temperature, so it's off today. And also we've got some isolation valves of the cargo, so the forward one and the bulk one. This is to isolate all the conditioning system of the cargo hold in case of fire or smoke. Next, this is the flight control. This is the end of the left side panel where we can find the primary computer number 2, primary number 3 and secondary number 2. These are all grounded switches and we never use that except for to switch off a computer. Just above that we've got the radio management panel number 3. So this is the third one of the aircraft. In case of failure of each one, we can use that one. Up, this is the CVR. All the conversation inside the cockpit are recorded for 2 hours, and this is the panel that allows us to test or erase the CVR in case of a problem. Then if we go a little bit up, this is all the reset breaker. So actually they are not a real breaker, but they are like a switch where, for example, this one it's Windows, it's computer number 2, and in some case we can use that to try to retrieve the system in case of failure. And at the end, this panel is only for the maintenance. They use that to investigate for hydraulic leak or to power up the FADEC of the engines on the ground. And that's almost everything.
Yeah. I think now you know everything about the cockpit of the 340.
Yeah.
Approximately.
Yeah.
Maybe not enough for type rating, but you have also a good idea.
Yeah.
So 7 hours after departure, we are flying the city of Nantes in west of France, and we've just begun our descent. And we expect to land at Charles de Gaulle, westerly landing this morning. We expect runway 26 left, and we should be on ground within 30 minutes from now. Weather is fair, Cap OK. Light wind, and everything looks okay. We have the sun which is rising just in front of us.
A340
Check.
The good approach, good morning, Air France 499, down 150.
Air France 499, hello, clear Banox 3 Whiskey, radar ILS 26 left.
Banox 2 Whiskey, radar ILS 26 left, Air France 499.
Okay. Alstar.
Check.
Alt.
Check.
Good morning, Alpha India 74, speed 320, maintaining 11,000.
Greek Star 674, hello, cleared Okipa 3 Whiskey, radar ILS 27 right, descent level 100. Descent 499, descent level 130.
Down 130, Air France 499.
Le go d'approche d'Air France 3849, bonjour,
Final
on
open
a
desk,
250,
Altitude,
on est vers le 150, vers le 110.
Bonjour France 3849, Okipa 3 Whiskey, radar ILS 26 Golf, descendez niveau 100. American 42, turn right heading 110.
Right heading 110, American 42.
Air France 499, speed 250.
Speed 250 for 499.
Speed 250.
Check.
France 3849, descendez niveau 70.
Niveau 70, 3849.
Air France 499, descend level 80.
Down 80, Air France 499.
ISA 540,
Final
reduce
open desk,
250
Alto
knots.
Blue 80 Blue.
Speed
Check.
250, ISA 540.
Air France 241, vous avez quelle vitesse?
Là, on va avoir 250, on est en réduction.
C'est noté. Air France 3849, réduisez 230 nœuds et contactez l'arrivée 118 155. Au revoir.
230 nœuds et 118, 155, Air France 3849, au revoir madame.
Air France 499 and down 80.
Air France 499, bonjour, radar ALS 265, descent flight level 70.
Down 70, ALS 260, Air France 499.
Level 70 Blue.
Check.
American 42, turn right,
ALS
heading
260
160.
Delta Sierra Uniform
Right heading
identified.
160,
Check.
American 42, what speed?
220 knots.
220.
Air France 499, descent 501021.
Down 501021, Air France 499.
American 42, turn
Set
right,
QNH
heading
1021.
240, intercept ALS 265.
Check.
5000 Blue.
Intercept ILS 26.
QNH 1021. Cross check, passing 9000.
Heading 130.
Heading 130, ISA 540.
Air France 499, rate of descent
No.
1500 feet per minute minimum. You can increase the speed if you want to increase rate of descent.
1500 minimum, Air France 499.
So,
3849,
speed
descendez 4
250.
pieds, 1021, autorisé
et
ILS
approach
26 gauche.
checklist.
Approach checklist.
2021, autorisé les 26 gauche Air France 38.
Briefing.
Confirm.
Air France 499, descend 4000 feet 1021.
Down 401021, Air France 499.
4000 Blue.
Bonjour Air France
Check.
241, niveau
Cam
70,
status.
239.
Check.
Bonjour, Air
Seatbelts
France 241, radar ILS
En
26
ref.
gauche.
QNH 1021 set.
QNH 1021 set. Minimum.
PA 5207.
520 set, engine start cell.
No.
Approach checklist complete.
Air France 499, turn left, heading 030.
030, Air France 499.
030.
Check. Clear left.
Alpha Zulu India 674, contact tower 11925, bye bye.
11925, bye bye Alpha Zulu India 674. Bonjour, arrival, American 447.5, descending 60.
So you back? Air France 499, turn left, heading 2900, intercept ALS 265.
Check.
1, AG1 plus 2.
American 44,
Check.
radar ALS 265, descend
Je pense
4000
qu'on
feet
peut rentrer les speed
1021.
021, 4000 feet, 26 left, American 44.
France 3849, vitesse 182, le précédent 767. Note.
182, 3849.
American 42, keep the speed until 6 miles final, contact tower 120, decimal 9.
Speed to 6 on final tower, 120, decimal 9,
Dual.
American 4.
Check.
3849, correction, ce sera 160 nœuds pour la vitesse.
162, 3849.
030.
Alpha Zulu India 674, contact tower 11925, bye bye.
11925, bye bye Alpha Zulu India 674.
Kenya 112, bonjour, radar ALS 265, distance 5061.
Play the line.
American 44, turn right, heading 180.
180, American 44.
United 915, leaving level 100 for 80.
Bonjour, United 915, radar ALS 27 right, distance 5 level 60.
Descend level 60 for 27.
Speed check.
United 915.
Flaps 1.
Air France 241, vitesse 182.
182 Air France 241.
Kenya 112, distance 4,61021.
Flaps 2, DME 11.24,000.
Check. Let's start.
Check.
Bravo, Cathay 261 on descent, flight level 60, 230 knots.
Cathay 261, bonjour, radar ALS 267,
4,000 around altitude set.
4,61021.
Check.
For sure, set 26, next 44.
APF. Cat 3.
Check.
Go. Cat 1.
Kenya 112, turn left heading 300, intercept ALS 265.
Left 300, intercept ILS 26 left, Kenya 112.
United 915, turn right heading 130.
Heading 130, United 915.
Air France 499, contact tower 120.9 with your speed.
1209, with speed France 499.
21810 and cross 26 right, American 42.
Tower, good morning, Air France 499, final 26 left, 180 knots.
Air France 499, hello, you're 5.5 miles behind the 330, wind calm, runway 26 left, clear to land.
Clear to land 26 left, Air France 499.
Check.
Okay. Manage speed. We are down. Flap 3.
Yeah, down. Speed check. Flaps 3.
Landing checklist.
Landing checklist, cabin crew.
Advise.
Auto thrust.
Speed.
Auto brake.
Low.
ECAM memo.
Bonjour,
Landing no
ici
blue.
91 Alpha Papa, St Maarten.
Landing checklist complete.
26 right, the next way,
91 Alpha Papa, good morning from Tango 9, line up runway 26 right, wind is calm, clear for takeoff.
From St Maarten, line up clear, takeoff runway 26 right, ici 91 Alpha Papa.
Bonjour Air France 241, on est 8 nautiques et demi, finale 26 gauche et on a 179. Air France 241, bonjour, 5 nautiques derrière 340, vent calme, piste 26 gauche, autorisé atterrissage. Autorisé atterrissage 26 gauche Air France 241. Air France 38, 49, maintenez avant piste 26 droite, point d'arrêt, à 3. On tient avant, donc en position avancée rapport à France 38, 49.
Stabilized.
Okay.
400.
Down.
Check.
38, 49, traversez la piste 26 droite, du côté de sol, 121, 810.
100 above.
Check.
Traverse la 26 droite de l'autre côté, 121, 810, 38, 49, au revoir. 200. Minimum.
Continue.
Wake chapmans.
100.
91 Alpha Papa, contact departure 133.380.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard, retard 5.
Spoiler. Reverse green. Diesel.
Brake is on.
Check. Perfecto.
Roger, the call tower, American 4426, left speed 180.
American 44, good morning, you're 5 miles, 93.7. Wind calm, runway 26 left, clear to land.
Airline 26 left, American 44.
American 44, reduce 160 knots.
160 knots, American 44.
Air France 499, cross runway 26 right, Sierra 3, after crossing ground 121810, over.
Request runway 26 right, Sierra 3, 12181 after crossing Air France 499, bye bye, merci.
It's next to the right, and we are clear to cross.
So 26 right, nobody left.
And nobody right.
Approaching 08 left.
Go tower, Kenya 112, speed 160.
Kenya 112.
Yeah.
Ground, good morning, Air France 499, regating at 26 right.
Bonjour 499, taxi right on Romeo, then Echo 2 to join Golf westbound.
Right, Romeo, no problem, Echo 2 for Golf, Air France 499.
That's correct, 499, entrance Echo 0, Fox 15, your stand, and remain the frequency till the stand, good day.
Echo 0, Foxtrot 15, and monitoring frequency, Air France 499, thank you.
Okay.
De Gaulle, métier 1108. 1108, oui, je vous écoute. American 44, join at convenience, Alpha 30, either via Papa Taxiway or Romeo as you wish.
Okay, Alpha 30, okay, American 44, can we enter here at Romeo Papa 1?
Affirm, sir, if you wish, you remain my frequency till your stand, have a good day.
Au revoir.
Pour 421, vous avez confirmé le kilomètre.
241, j'allais vous appeler justement, c'est confirmé avec vos opérations, en l'entrée RP8, on reste ensemble jusqu'au parking, bonne journée.
The landing checklist complete.
Actually, slightly on the left, and return frequency to your stand, have a good day.
Remain in space, Cathay 65.
Front brake on.
So, here we are in Paris after a 7-hour and 55 night flight. It was pretty quiet. It was sorry for the camera that we had some cloud over Paris downtown because it's a pretty nice view. And we had flown 7 hours and 55 minutes, absolutely the same time as we may expected with our operational flight plan, and we use 49.7 kilograms of fuel, and we were expected 50 tons, so we had substantial economy of 1 tons, while reducing and have shorter track, getting the good level with a good wind, and now we are to perform all the checklist while the passengers are disembarking. After that, I think we'll get off.
Now it's 6 o'clock in the morning in Paris, so after a nice landing and a nice cruise, very smooth, I think we can have some sleep and have some rest, and see you next time. Bye bye. Au revoir.